So it's just like a real life whack-a-mole. You can never keep up, at least with this layout here. Hey everyone, Digital David here. Today in this video, I'm going to be checking out the Nanoleaf Shapes, specifically their ultra black hexagons. This is their smarter kit featuring 9 light panels. Nanoleaf did send me this product, but any opinion expressed in this video is strictly my own. That being said, if you're interested in this product or you want to find out more about it, the link to it will be in the video description. Here's a look at the retail box and packaging. Front and center, you'll see the key features for this product. So customizable, basically you can pick and choose how you want to configure your layout. It features dynamic color scenes, rhythm and music modes, and we can combine these with other shapes. They also make black triangles, very similar to the hexagons right here if you're interested in doing a little bit of mix and matching. Looking at it from all sides and angles, you'll see on the back we have those features highlighted in more detail. And on the side of the box, take a look right there. Right there, we'll spin it all around. Maybe you noticed, maybe you didn't, at the very bottom here, look at all the compatible ways we can use our phones. Apple Home, Google Home, works with your Amazon devices, IFTTT, you get it. There's so many different options to control and customize these lights. Now let's go ahead, let's open them up and see what's inside. Here are all the contents. First up, we have our quick start guide, walking us through everything we need to know about getting this set up with important tips and tricks, as well as step-by-step instructions. At the very end, they have their customer service and contact information for you. Next, you'll see microfiber cloth, all of our different sticky tape options here. You'll see our 10 linkers for the panels. We have our controller. Take a look at the controller right here. Backside, you'll see our power supply right here. The technical details, US plug, and the unique contact there. And then last but not least, we have our 9 identical panels here. So you'll see them from both sides where our linkers are going to be installed. Look at that, Nanoleaf's logo and branding on the back side. And then you'll see from the side, again, beautiful black finish all throughout. And again, we have 9 of these, all identical to each other. Now let's go ahead, let's prep these for install. So I believe I have everything laid out how I want it right here with all of our light panels. Basically, it's gonna come up right behind me here and we're gonna work its way up here towards the top. So now we just have to configure exactly where we want everything to be mounted. So in this case, if I want the control panel right here, very simple, guys. Just snap everything in place. You'll line it up on the back side and press in. So there's the control panel. So if we have that off to the side, great. We're also going to want to have off to the side our power. So that also snaps in where you want. So in this case, you got to line it up this way. It only is going to fit one way, and then they have that cord right there for you. So now we have the power connected. Position it how you want. So for us, that'll be off screen, but I want you to see it nonetheless. So that's going to be there, we'll pretend. And then now you have to configure exactly on your layout where you have to put the rest of your contacts so then everything can connect together when you have it mounted. All right, so the wall's been prepped behind me here. We're waiting for a little bit more of it to dry up. I also went ahead and fully laid everything out to make sure I have the pieces configured exactly how I want them right here. So you'll see how we have our power going from these two, the main one, spread out here, right? That one goes there, then straight to here. This one's got 3 to it. So those are all connected. And then this last one right here goes to that one. So everything's connected now, ready to go. So we're going to start applying our sticky tape. So we don't have much to work with from the instructions right here, but I think I can make the most of it with the image that's provided. So we'll line it up just like so right here. And you'll see we'll take our first piece and we'll just gently apply this to the back right here. Just like that. You'll see we have that on. We have a little bit left underneath. I'm assuming that's going to be able to help us actually get this off the wall someday as needed. And don't forget that piece pops out right there too. So you can remove the panel without removing the adhesive strip. And on this side, you'll see with it installed, there's no sticky adhesive right there. So I believe we're doing the right stuff as we should. So that'll just be hanging freely for us to pull off or remove as needed. And then we have that last piece right here to remove when it's time to place it on the wall. So let's let this finish drying and we'll start placing. All right, we got our first two in place. We're just taking our time, peeling them off, pressing them on, holding for about 30 seconds until we move along to the next one. Also, highly recommend grabbing a little level if you have it so you can fine tune any adjustments when you're getting everything in place. And then just make sure on the next piece you have the correct attachments so we can easily go on to the next one. All right, we're making progress on the wall. It's looking great. All right, so there we go. We got them all stuck up on the wall. I'm impressed because this is concrete. Thankfully, it was even enough. We were able to get all the panels connected. Now, the design kind of took on a pattern of its own. As I was going through what I wanted to do, I thought I'd go a little bit higher here, but it just made more sense to continue on with that pattern. I wish we had a couple more tiles, so I got a feeling when you get these, you can just never have too many. But now let's go ahead, let's power them on and try them out. All right, we have the panels plugged in, powered on, and set up within the Nanoleaf app. Look at how good everything looks right here. All the different colors cycling through for us. These have been up for a couple of days now. Nothing has come loose from the concrete. I was nervous about that. It's very sticky. The adhesive has worked great. So just make sure you properly prep your surface. And hopefully, just like myself, you're not going to have any issues. If it can stick to concrete, I'm pretty sure it's going to be able to stick to anything you're trying to mount it to. Now let's look at some of its settings within the Nanoleaf app. So this is basically your main home screen where we have our different devices connected here. So we have the Nanoleaf lines and we have our lovely shapes. So we're going to select that to go into it. Top right hand corner, we have our device settings. This does feature touch controls. So we should be able to swipe down, turn it off, swipe up, turn it back on. We can configure these how we want. So you can see what we're able to configure here. Unassigned, a lot of different options depending on what you want to configure there. There's also touch actions. If you use an Apple Home Hub or other Apple accessories, you can set that up too. Auto brightness, scene transitions, you can learn more about that right there. Color calibration, reset to default, backup and restore, and we can learn more about our particular device, identify it or delete it. So that's a quick look at the device settings. Next, you'll see currently what's playing. We also have our layout already configured. We can turn it on or off right there. We can adjust that brightness lower or brighter. Then at the bottom, we have our tabs, all favorites and playlists. We can also search. So let's go back to all where we can create a scene, basic, paint, or dynamic, up to you, what you're feeling up for. And then we have a magic scene right here. So we're gonna try Michigan Wolverines. Let's go. We'll see what it does here. So it gets, well, this one's now it's kind of green and changing. I say it kind of got the maze right, but not really. So I was hoping that it could get our sports teams, but then we can shuffle this. But that'd be cool to see maybe that more refined in the future. But there's the magic scene option. Then we have basically our presets here, beat drop. So when I'm talking, it's changing because again, it's using the microphone to identify the music, the audio that's listening to. Here's blaze. There's just a lot of different effects here that we can quickly pick and choose from. Nice daylight. Here's a hip hop one. That's going to be quicker for the beat of the music, changing as we talk. Here's a jungle theme with some greens. My favorite one, Northern Lights with all the nice rainbow RGB colors. Again, the music icon, we have more of those. Here's a nice reading light. I set this one up red. I really like this red as the backdrop. And at the very bottom, I downloaded a game called Whack-A-Mole, which is fun. So this is what it's going to show you up on our shapes. But then we can hold it for 3 seconds to activate the game. And now we just got to start hitting it where all the colors are, right? So it's just like a real life Whack-A-Mole. You can never keep up, at least with this layout here. How fun is that, though? But then you can play that right up on your wall. There's a couple different games, like I think Simon Says, and a couple more that you'll be able to find if you want to use those. So that's a quick look at its settings right here. Let's leave it on the Northern Lights, and we'll go back out to the app at the very bottom here. This is where you see some of the key features that we can pick up online. So first up, the little cloud icon. This is where I downloaded Whack-A-Mole from. So we have different scenes, playlists, motions you can go through. You can also see with these scenes like which ones have been downloaded the most. Moonlight, you know, who made it? Was it a user? Was it Nanoleaf? Look at that, millions of downloads. Netflix and chill, try this before you skip it. That sort of thing. So pretty cool that we have those options there. Again, music modes as well too. So a lot you can search for right there. Next, you'll see this little resources icon. Kind of looks like a navigation icon with a compass. Choose your product. Tools and features. What do you need help with? And then here's our smart integrations. Do you want to set this up with Thread, with Matter, Apple Home, Google Home, Amazon Alexa, Samsung SmartThings, and IFTTT? All of that can be integrated right here. Then you can explore additional products, get access to beta features. You'll see we have some different powered by Nanoleaf options down at the bottom. Some LED light strips there from Secret Labs. So there's our resources, and then we have a schedule. If we want to set these up on a schedule, we can do that right here within the app. We can name it, choose the time, which days of the week we want it to repeat, which devices do we want to control with that schedule. All of that can be done right here within the Nanoleaf app. So after installing, setting up, and using the Nanoleaf Shapes, let me share with you my final thoughts. First thing I want to say is these are really cool. Very simple to set up. It really is peel and stick. The hardest part is prepping your wall and making sure you have the right layout for your space and have everything designed. It's a lot easier for me to visualize it up on the wall while I'm going versus trying to build it out on a desk. So just make sure you have it laid out. Maybe use the floor, things like that, to get it exactly how you want it before you start installing everything. But very simple installation. Again, hardest part, just prep the wall. If it can stick to concrete here, you shouldn't have any issues around your house, studio, wherever you plan to install these. So count me impressed. When I first powered it on, I just couldn't get over how cool these panels look. And bonus points that we even have touch controls. That's fun if you want to play games, or maybe with your setup, that might be your preferred method of controlling everything. Don't forget about the control panel that's built in, and you can still use your smartphone or your favorite virtual or voice assistant, Google, Amazon, doesn't matter, they'll have you covered. Don't forget about Apple devices too. So anyways, with that being said, what would I want to see change with this product? Well, for me, it really comes down to just the lights in general. I've noticed with my particular setup, there's still going to be some different colors where it looks a little fuzzy. We get some of those lines with the refresh rate of the lights that doesn't look the best on camera. So a lot of that you can blame on the camera, but I'm going to blame it on the lights. So for that, I'd like to see that change in the future to be even more camera friendly. It's just certain colors. So we played around with it, but I'd like to see maybe that refined a little bit more in the future, or give us some sort of app control to change that. I don't know if that's just a 50 or 60 hertz thing, but anyways, I'd like to see that refined, since these are really going to be made for content creators, gamers, people that probably are using them as backdrops and things on camera. Other than that, the biggest thing for me is if you are going to use those touch controls, my fingers leave a lot of smudges on the lights. I don't think you'll pick it up from a camera, but you will notice it if you're walking by. So I prefer not to touch them, so I can just wipe them down and have everything clean. But maybe a design in the future that reduces smudges and fingerprints.